Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Fenway Park.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Off the Monster. It's been another troubling week for the Red Sox, unfortunately, to say the least. Horrific, in other words. Ups and downs, just not scoring any runs. The offense is barely there. Basically, two guys doing all the work, either Devers or Bogarts. The pitching has been fairly good, I think. Considering they went up against some top-notch teams, Toronto, Tampa Bay, and they didn't give up a lot of runs.
Right. They haven't given up a lot of runs, but here's a scary thought. And I just saw it today that every team in the division has walked off the Red Sox at least once, and it's only May 1st. That's not great. And it's actually the first time that's happened since the 2012 Cubs, and not a good team. It's offensively, they're sick. The pitching is good, but if they keep this pace up, they're gonna burn through their pitching by end of May, really. I mean, it's not starting off great. And it's funny because I know that there's some fans out there that are like, oh yeah, they'll turn it around. Sure, there's still time to turn it around, but you can still call this a bad baseball team. It is. That's what they
you're
are.
Paying over $200 million for what?
Right.
I mean, what? Nothing.
Right.
They're putting out no
pitching.
Nothing at all. Exactly.
Right. They're pitching well, and their defense has been okay. And guess what? That's still not getting you runs. So
Dahlbach is atrocious. You can't even go. My go-to would be say, all right, bring up Cassis, but he's hitting horrible. I think he's hitting like 220 down in Worcester.
Right.
So,
right. And you know what? Yeah, all of MLB is down right now. I mean, that's true.
Saying it's a kind of a dead ball.
Right. They're saying that, but the thing is, if you even looking at the numbers, we're still well below where we should be compared to those other teams. I mean,
that's it. Everybody is hitting the same ball, and we're still worse off.
Right. Exactly. That's the whole thing. So it's going to be a very interesting season. I will say that. But it is safe to say that, if they keep on this pace at the end of May, we're probably going to be talking about what does next year look like? We've got these prospects, and we'll probably have a high draft pick, and let's see what happens.
Well, that's what I was thinking this weekend too, watching the NFL draft, is that they're heading towards a top 10 draft pick as it looks right now. And, that's Chaim Bloom's MO. He is great at building the farm system, but he does not have any track history of succeeding at a high level with the actual club. Tampa Bay did make it to the playoffs once or twice a year, but even then it always felt like it was lightning in a bottle. It wasn't that he put these great teams together and the chemistry had formed and so forth and so on. And I get it that he couldn't keep players down there because small market team, but you're in a big market team there, Chaim. You need to start acting like a big market GM.
That was my whole frustration with the offseason, is that we didn't want to sacrifice the future for now, but we're not a small market team. I mean, we're the Boston flipping Red Sox. We just bought the Pittsburgh Penguins. We own a English Premier League team. We have money. We're not Oakland. We're not Kansas City. We're not, Minnesota. We have money. Why, with a track record of building a farm system like he has, why aren't you able to be more like the Dodgers, where you can go sign those guys and still keep your future?
I mean, if you look at John Henry, does he look like he gets any excitement of watching anything?
No, I don't.
I wouldn't even know what his favorite movie is.
There was rumors, and I'm not trying to get political on this, but there were a lot of rumors when, Al Gore was vice president that he was robotic. And I think John Henry might be a robot. He's always very stoic and just nothing changes. I mean, I don't know. It's weird. It is weird.
So I think we've run out of good things and bad things to talk about the Red Sox. It's a horror show. It's a comedy of errors. So, let's talk movies. I love horror movies. I love any type of movies, to be honest with you. But I figured this week, you like comedies. You've said in the past, I like horror movies. So let's go through our top 3 horror and comedy movies maybe we'll circle back around to the Red Sox, but
Let's do
we'll
it.
see how it goes.
That is a horror movie, so you know.
Yeah, it is a horror movie happening right before our eyes, a train wreck happening right before our eyes. So my top three are in absolutely no order, and there's more correlation to your category or genre than to mine as we go through it. So I'll probably start off with the most of the top three. The one that is actually a horror flick is Halloween, and I can both go with Jamie Lee Curtis Halloween, but I'm more of a Rob Zombie fan, Halloween, just because it tells the story of Michael Myers compared to, okay, Jamie Lee Curtis's character is old, Michael Myers is old, he's coming after her for some reason. Yeah, it does give a little bit of a story backdrop of what actually happened, but the Halloween with Rob Zombie really gives in grotesque detail what made up Michael Myers,
Right.
And it scares the bejesus out of you, but it's also, in a sense, that it's gory, but it still has that Halloween feel where it's not overly gory.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my number three there.
Yeah, that's it's been a while since I've seen that, but I do agree the depth of which they brought Michael Myers out in that was a big bonus, and really, I don't disagree. I don't think a lot of people can disagree that that was actually probably better than the original.
Yeah. Well, if you want to, we'll go back and forth. So
we can. All right. Well, for comedy, and again, I'm going kind of your style here. There's no particular order because on any given day, I could tell you any three of these movies are the best of all time. So
then you can probably just sit down and throw some popcorn on and watch it on the couch.
Exactly. So, the first one that comes to mind, we'll just say number three for me. We've talked about it before on this actual podcast, but it's a movie that I just keep going to because, again, when it's on, I can watch it and I'm going to laugh and I'm going to find something out about it. Go ahead and take a guess.
Bull Durham?
Bull Durham is good, but not Bull Durham. Yep, it is Major League.
Okay, yeah.
Major League, I can watch anytime. I'm still going to laugh just as hard as I did the first time. And there's probably a couple other parts that I will laugh at that I didn't before. It's one of those movies for me. So
it probably stuck out in your brain because they stink for so much of that season of that movie. It does correlate to the Red Sox fairly well right now.
Maybe that's it. But
actually, I just brought a prop. I actually knew you were going to say Major League. So let me get this prop from the movie that I bought the other day on eBay. It's from the movie Major League, but we made some modification. It's now a Red Sox prop. So give me 1 second.
All right, you go do that.
Yep.
I'll keep explaining to the people that
it'll only take me 1 second. But
all right, go ahead. Oh boy, we're being treated with a gift now.
All right.
Wow, and I like how they altered it to actually match the Red Sox there. That's really interesting how a prop from the movie, they were able to just alter it a little bit but keep that authentic feel of that.
You'd be surprised how little or inexpensive these things are these days. Movie props are not that expensive. 20 cents on eBay.
20 cents on eBay? Hey, that's not bad. And especially with inflation,
it might be up to $1 by now.
Okay, I was gonna say, inflation might, play a part of that. But anyways, getting back onto actually Major League, the movie, away from the Red Sox. The appealing thing about that movie is the way the comedic timing plays off of each of the characters and how they interact with each other. It doesn't feel forced. It does feel very natural. It feels like if you were in a clubhouse, these are the kind of things that would happen, even though, it is a movie and it's Hollywood, but it gave you that kind of feel that this is what it's like to be on a team and that. And granted, I know it's a different day and age now and a lot of things have changed, but in my opinion, it still holds up.
Yeah. So my second and third are more comedy horror flicks. So my second, I could watch this any time of the day.
Can
or
I take
year,
a
I
guess?
should. Oh, sorry. Yeah, mental malfunction here. There we go. So my second and third, like I said, correlated more comedy than
Can I
horror.
take a
but
guess?
No,
No, you won't let me take a guess.
go ahead. Go ahead. Can you guess?
All right. I'm gonna throw one out there because I can watch it too, and to me, it's a comedy horror. Cabin in the Woods.
No,
Oh,
no. Shaun of the Dead. Love that movie.
yep.
I mean, it's end of the world. You know me, what I do for a living. So kind of,
Right.
I work in preparedness. So the zombie apocalypse is upon us, and they make it funny. Let's all go down to the pub and have a pint and cheers to the end of the world, this sort of thing. It's hysterical. Those two guys, and I can never remember their names. They've been in quite a few movies together.
I know one is Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg, because he was in Star Trek movies.
Right, and people tell me I look like him, although I don't know, but that's people have told me that. Oh, you look like
you'd have to put some glasses on, I think.
Probably.
Yeah. I like he's good. He's great in the Star Trek movies, and Paul.
Oh yeah,
the movie Paul.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
movie I could watch anytime.
Yep.
But yeah, Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, Shaun of the Dead. It's very good. What I like about it too is it wasn't necessarily about survival. It was about we need to get to the pub, and that's where everything will just be okay. That is what cracked me up with that movie. But yeah, I'll roll into mine for number 2. Again, no particular order, because if I say this is number 2, I know family members are gonna attack me because it's a classic and within my family. But the second one I'm going with is Monty Python: The Holy Grail.
Nice.
That one, again, even though I have practically every word of that movie memorized in my head, I can watch it anytime, and it just. I know I'm always going to laugh. It's a guarantee. I mean, anytime I see the Black Knight, I immediately just start laughing.
It's just a nick.
Right, exactly. Oh, it's a flesh wound. What are you going to do? Bleed on me? It's just all that stuff. It's great. And, the Knights of Me and all that. It is just, it's off the wall, but it just, whenever I watch it, I forget about life because it's so stupid and silly and hilarious.
Yeah, that's why I love Shaun of the Dead.
Yes.
Yeah. My last one is it really shows my age. Think of your top scary characters that go back 100 years. Frankenstein, Dracula, the Mummy.
The Mummy, yep.
Young Frankenstein.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That
could be in both genres. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. But it's just a classic. It's just like you say. It's one of those movies I love looking. Well, I used to go out and rent. Right, you don't have to go and rent them anymore. Hit the Blockbuster. That I could watch over and over and over. It just never gets old.
No. The scene that always sticks out for me in that one is putting on the Ritz. It just every time. Yeah, again, a movie where the cast was brilliant.
Yeah,
you had Gene Wilder, you had Terry Garr, Peter Boyle as Frankenstein's monster just was amazing. Yeah, that is actually, if you were to have a genre of Mel Brooks movies, that's one you could put at the top. It could.
That was my favorite part when the Frankenstein and Mel Brooks. Remind me if I'm correct with this. Mel Brooks is the blind guy, or who does he go see? And they're sharing. They're trying to share some food and everything. He keeps on spilling it because he's blind.
Yeah,
I thought it was Mel Brooks.
I think you are right. Why am I drawing a blank on that?
Finally, he gets these big cigars that are like bigger than my arm, and he's got it out there and he grabs his finger and lights his finger on fire.
Yes.
And he's
Oh!
the whole fire bad thing.
Oh yeah, and Broomhilda. Everybody, remembers Broomhilda and the horses.
Yeah.
Oh, good movie. Well, so me for the last one I'm going with is got to be this movie came out right before my time, but to me it is the movie that invented the slapstick comedy, and that is Airplane. That movie, again, I watch
under.
Yep, again and again and again, and there's something new I will laugh at.
Danny, have you ever seen a grown man naked?
Right, hey, I know you. You're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. No, I'm not. I'm Roger Murdoch. I'm an airline pilot. My dad says you're a bum. Like, just or the Doctor, Leslie Nielsen. That was, before the Naked Gun movies and that, which were also very good. Yeah. But that's where he started branching out in comedy. And I mean, one thing I just, the other thing I love too is, doctor, what is it? Well, we got to get these people to a hospital. A hospital, what is it? It's a big building with patients inside, but that's not important right now. And of course, the line everybody quotes, you surely can't be serious. I am serious. Don't call me Shirley. Right. It's just, the movie invented so many, and so many movies took from that afterwards.
He picked a bad week to stop crack or something. He did like 5 different things.
Yeah, he did. It was, I picked a bad day to quit smoking, picked a bad day to quit drinking, picked a bad day for methamphetamines, like
sniffing glue.
You're right, sniffing glue. And then also too, that I often forget. And then once I watch it, I'm like, oh yeah, Robert Stack in it. Robert Stack is amazing, and this is before Unsolved Mysteries and that. He was so good. The intern that was going to pick him up, and the dog is they're just attacking him, and he's still not paying any attention, just getting ready. Yep, I got to go.
Why was his wife sleeping with a horse? Yeah. I still don't remember why that is.
I don't know either, but yeah, there's just so many things in there that just it brings me to tears every time I watch it. And even now, like, I don't know how people look at this, but you know what? It's a comedy. When back in those days, metal detectors were new and they were poking fun at it. So you got everybody walking through with, machine guns and bazookas and that. Here comes this little old lady with nothing, and they tackle her and give her a gun and have her go through. Mm-hmm. Just things like that, you know what, maybe nowadays doesn't hold up, but it does make me think of back then when, it was just comedy and you could laugh at things and that. And, so Airplane, it's one of those that it helped really build the genre of comedy.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a couple honorable mentions that were more horror movies than comedies. One was, and it is before my time actually, Nosferatu. I really didn't understand Nosferatu. It was one of the very first Dracula type movies, almost, I think it was even black and white. Okay. Might have been in the 20s or 30s. Very skinny fingers.
Yeah. So not the Bela Lugosi.
There's one scene where he just comes up out of the coffin, stands up out of the coffin. And the other one is Lost Boys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen that in forever, but I mean, the names that were in that, mind you, some of them did turn out well. What's that?
Again, cast. Yeah, who's
right? It's just a phenomenal movie. Once again, vampire movie.
Yeah,
but those great movies were vampire, or some of the big three: vampire, mummies, or Frankenstein.
Yeah.
How many movies are made off the Mummy? How many movies are made off of Dracula, or Frankenstein's the wife of Frankenstein, or Frankenstein?
Right.
Which one of those three am I missing?
Frankenstein, Dracula. And you think about it too, the other things that spurned off of it, right? You had, like, with Dracula, you had a whole Van Helsing thing that, went off of that. The Mummy gave way to other, like, Missing Link movies and The Blob and, things like that. It's really interesting how those three central characters in horror branched out to other things and inspired other ideas like that.
Yeah, I can't recall the actor's name, but Mummy and the Mummy 2 with
Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser.
Yep.
You know, fantastic movies, I thought.
Yeah. Get rid of the Tom Cruise one. That was
it was okay, but yeah. we don't even touch upon zombie movies, but I don't know if you had any other ones that came up to your
honorable mention
there.
Yeah, honorable mention for me. It's a movie that I think has a cult following. It's not so much, it wasn't big when it came out or anything. So I'm not surprised even if you haven't seen it, but a lot of times, you know, when I run into people and they're like, oh, it's, you know, one of your favorite movies, this is a movie I go to. That's The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yep.
You know, that movie, the opening scene with the dolphins and so long and thanks for all the fish. My kids actually sing that in the house. But just, again, kind of going with the sarcasm that's in that movie. I am a bit sarcastic myself and can really appreciate that. And Alan Rickman as Marvin the Robot was superb. The voice matched everything, you know. It's just, you know, when he comes down and they introduce him and the first thing he says is, I want you all to know I'm feeling very depressed today. Like, this is awesome. So, you know,
it's definitely one of those movies you can go back and watch.
You can.
It's so quirky.
It is. And Sam Rockwell, who to me is like one of those that guy actors.
Mm-hmm.
He's in a bunch of things, but you really wouldn't know it. And that's one of those movies where you don't really realize it's him until afterwards. And he was just so good in that movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of a thing with actors. There's some actors that, you know, they're just really just kind of stupid, but the really good ones who try to play stupid and do a very good job of it, I will always appreciate that. And Sam Rockwell's one of them. He just, the way he portrays being an idiot who happens to be president of the galaxy, has some political undertones to it that I just appreciate.
How is it not? You know, in this day and age, it's just too much politics.
Yep.
You know,
and you know what? I should also mention too another one, because if I don't, my wife will be mad, and I would totally agree. Idiocracy should also be on the honorable mention as well.
Are you kidding me? This day and age, we're living in it.
Right. It is hilarious. I wouldn't be surprised if 50 years from now there is a wrestling match to figure out who the president is. It wouldn't surprise me.
Gatorade? It wasn't Gatorade. What was it? Mondo.
Yep. It has electrolytes. Because it has electrolytes. Yes. Just, can you state your name? Well, I'm not sure what's going. Hello, not sure. Wait, no.
Is that your last name?
Yeah, that was another one. Again, cult following for sure. You know, I don't even know if it really was released nationwide in theaters. I think it only hit a couple theaters and then just kind of went right to, well, at the time, DVD and that. But again, just such a great movie. And for those of you who haven't seen it, definitely check out Idiocracy. And well, any of the movies that we've mentioned. But yeah, for you know, the true cult following, that one, yeah.
And my friends would not let me get away. And this is not a horror film, but just a film in general. You know, once again, I believe it's a cult following because I can't tell you when I first saw it, but I know I've seen it hundreds of times, is Boondock Saints.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously a Boston movie, you know. For us, it would top our list.
Oh, yeah.
But it didn't cost much for him to make.
No, it is. It's one of those movies that was an indie film that ended up being one of the, you know, bigger grossing ones, you know, of all time as far as indie films go. Anybody from or is familiar with that area can appreciate that movie for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I won't go into it because we try to keep this kind of family friendly, but the bartender and the very first opening scenes, it's just, you know, just that right there, him just like, you know,
Well, fun fact about the guy who plays the bartender. He is the old man in the kids show Fraggle Rock.
Real? Oh, wow.
Yes, he is the old man, and yes, it is. That blew my mind. I found that out probably 20 years ago. And when I first heard it, I was like, no. And then sure enough, I, with kids, watched an episode of Fraggle Rock, and there he was. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, no way. And yeah, so.
What's the director's name? Is it Chris Duffy?
Troy Duffy.
Troy Duffy.
Yep.
I never understood it. You know, and he's in that scene I'm talking about, in the bar scene.
Yep.
And I'm like, you're directing your own movie, and you got overalls in a bar, supposedly in Boston. What are you doing, man? I mean, nobody in their right mind. I've never seen in my entire life living in New England have ever worn overalls into a bar in Boston.
Right, unless you were like 70 years old.
Yeah, man, let's shoot 70 years old. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Maybe there's some backwards joke of why he wore overalls. They just came out with the whiskey.
Yeah.
It was very limited. I think up to 1,000 bottles. Boondock Saints whiskey. There was something about
you and I love whiskey, but I don't know if we could do that.
No.
Yeah.
It's like $150 a bottle.
Yeah. No thanks.
No thanks. Exactly.
Yeah.
I like the Boondock Saints, but people just bought it because they like the Boondock Saints.
Right.
I'm not buying a bottle of whiskey unless I'm going to drink it.
Right. Kind of like those, like the Metallica whiskeys or whatever, where they play music.
I did buy that bottle.
Oh yeah, that's right. You do have that. Yeah.
To be honest with you, the regular bottle, blackened, was much better than. My cousin, matter of fact, is the one who told me about the blackened because his wife had bought it for him.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was for his 50th birthday. It was for a celebration. It might have been Christmas or something. And he is saving it, to have a buddy over. And I was like, sounds great. I like Metallica. How could I really make a bad whiskey?
Right.
So,
well, they did.
Bought it, had Chris over. We did it, a little bit neat. No ice, no nothing. Just got 2 fingers neat. And we're like, what do you think? Yeah, that's pretty harsh. So yeah, you cut it with ice or whatever. I cut it with ice.
Right.
And it was okay. It wasn't bad, but I mean, it was pretty stringent going down. And then I called my cousin up. I said, "So you tried that blackened yet?" He's like, "Yeah." So what'd you think? He's like, "Not what I expected."
Well, now I think some other bands are doing that stuff too. I can't think of any, but I've heard some other bands are trying to do that too, where their music. I think AC/DC
but they played like Metallica over and over 24/7.
Yeah,
the Blackened album to the barrels.
Right.
I don't know what music does to aging whiskey, but
yeah,
obviously didn't age it that well.
It's just a bad batch.
Podcast is not going to age well.
I just, what, I really, I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to, now that, Metallica's tried that and stuff, I'm actually curious out there if you had somebody like New Kids on the Block do it, how much money the women would pay for that.
Yeah.
It would be mind boggling. I know. And thank God,
it would have to be like a Zima drink. It couldn't be whiskey.
Right. It would be like a vodka or something. And that. And thank God my wife is not a fan of New Kids on the Block, because if she were to drop $150 for a bottle of vodka with New Kids on the Block on it, I would file for divorce. And I kind of feel the same way if I did that with, the bottle of Boondock Saint whiskey. Like, oh, look, hon, I she'd be like, all right, great. Yeah. Okay. I need to file for divorce. Like, that's fandom gone wrong.
Yeah. Unless you got extra cash lying around and you like whiskey, or you like, you like that. I mean, it's, whatever, but if it's just because you like it, the band, and that's what I said when I first saw it. A friend of mine turned me onto it, and I saw the Boondock Saints. I'm like, I'm not buying a bottle of whiskey just because it says Boondock Saints on it.
Right.
And it was cute. It had a couple crucifixes kind of laminated it to the bottle. I mean, it looked like a nice bottle, but
I
collecting bottles when I was in my early 20s.
Right. If I want to buy a $150 bottle of whiskey, it better taste like a $150 bottle of whiskey. Like, not because you slapped a label on it and said, "Oh, look." Like, no, there is a reason why it gets expensive, because it tastes better. So that's the scary part about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
we went all over
this
the place.
one really good.
We did.
Yeah. And the Red Sox are for no better off. Last I checked, I think they were down 3-1. We're at the bases loaded.
Yeah.
3-1 in the sixth. They're
3-1 again.
Yeah. The quarterback
against the Orioles.
That's why I brought Twizzlers in here.
There you go.
To kill the pain.
Yeah. This is the Off the Monster podcast, and we do talk Red Sox. The problem that we're having is the Red Sox are not giving us much to talk about.
So we have to
do these.
Talk about the Celtics and the Bruins just fine.
Right, we could. Or
they're both in the playoff. I don't know what the Celtics are doing right now. I don't know if you've gotten a score lately. They were down.
Yeah, they were down. Again, I don't follow basketball too much, but based on what I know, should be a pretty.
The Bruins start tomorrow versus Carolina.
Yeah, it's that I'm looking forward to. Yeah. Bruins for sure. And we'll get into that stuff. I mean, we can do that, but yeah, I know it's the Off the Monster podcast. Again, we do want to go to Red Sox stuff, but anybody who is a fan of Red Sox right now, I think you can sympathize with what we're doing.
So, I mean, the monster is the wall. So we're basically just off the wall. We're just throwing out things off the wall, see what sticks.
Exactly.
And if there's something you guys want to talk about, let us know. Put it in the comments. We are more than happy to waste a half hour of our lives for you.
Absolutely. I totally agree 100%. We, happy to talk about anything. We're both talkers, if you haven't noticed. And we'll spray to all fields. We'll let you know, we'll talk about anything, even if we don't know much about it.
Yeah.
That way there you can poke fun at us and say, "Hey, you guys missed this." And you know what? Sure, I'll go look at it. And I'm the first one to say, "You know what? Yeah, I was wrong." And why? Well, I didn't know much about it, so I said something stupid.
I'm sure I make up new words every now and then, like Eck does on Nesson.
Yes, Eckersley does. So if he can, why not us?
Yeah. All right. Well, until next week, hopefully we'll be talking Red Sox. But looking at that schedule, I highly doubt we will be. We'll probably be talking about the Bruins or the Celtics.
We'll talk about the good things.
You like mayonnaise on your sandwiches?
Oh man, that's a good idea. No, neither do I.
Let's talk sandwiches.
You know what? Let's go with food. We can do that.
Let's go with food. You can both tell we like food.
Right, exactly. You don't, this chin is not all beard. I can tell you that.
That's why I have a beard, so you can't see my chin.
Awesome.
All right, Jeremy. I appreciate your time. Until next week, from the sunny coast of I'm not telling you where I am because I'm trying to get away from the Red Sox. So
that's why we want their backgrounds. We're getting far away from them right now.
Right.
Have a good one.
Take it easy. Thank you.